touch the skies. Cheltenham town and Forest Green, Gloucester City stands so keen. Talk of the county, loud and clear.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Talk of the County podcast, brought to you by Traffic Safety and Management Ltd, experts in traffic management, local depot in Gloucester, but support projects all around the UK. TSM keeps the road moving safely, day and night, offering local operatives great career prospects in a socially driven company that generally looks after its people and communities they serve. To find out more, visit www.tsmltd.co.uk. Good morning, Dave Jones.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, Chris Howes.
Morning, my friend.
We've got Sean coming on. He's running a little bit late. And we've also got Robbie Savage, who's, I think, going to come on and tell us how good Forest Green's been. We start today's podcast on a sombre note after former Gloucester City player Rob Thomas sadly passed away this week at the age of 78. Rob played for City in the 1963-64 season before moving on to Swindon Town for £500, making 296 appearances and scoring 5 goals. He went on to play for Derby County and Cardiff City respectively before returning to City in the 81-82 season. Rob finished his career at Barry Town, but notably Rob represented Wales 50 times in his career. Dave, you said you got to know Rob quite well.
Well, I played. He was running the Fostons Ash in his retirement from football, and I played cricket for them for a while. So yeah, I got to know him a little bit. He was a lovely guy, and obviously very, very good player. Little bit before my time, don't really remember him playing, but yeah, sad news.
Yeah, definitely. Seemed like a really good career, and like I said, 50 appearances for Wales can't be sniffed at, can it?
No.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to go around the grounds with Chris to start off with, and then hopefully we should have Robbie Savage joining us. So over to you, Chris.
Cheers, Dan. Before we start, I just wanted to mention what a huge achievement that we've managed to get. We've been nominated for Podcast of the Year in the Non-League Bibles awards. So I just wanted to say that I find it incredibly humbling and very surprising, because we've got essentially 2 Wurzels, a beauty therapist and professional Pete over here, running what is nonsense for an hour and a half, 2 hours every week. It's a fantastic achievement, given we've only been going for 3 months. So I just wanted to say well done to you boys, and thank you.
Back at you, Chris.
Thank you to everyone that has that's listened. So,
No, absolutely, Chris. Concur with that. It was a surprise when we had it. Was it Friday night? The notification come through. We didn't know. We didn't even know we'd been nominated. I know we cover Cheltenham Town, but for a pod which has been going for 3 months, it's getting bigger and bigger. And you know, we can only thank you guys, because without you guys, we don't make this pod. And also the people who get involved, the people who listen, the feedback. So yeah, massive thank you.
Excellent. Right, let's go around the grounds. Sponsored by BAM Recruitment. They find better matches the transfer window. Whether it's temporary or permanent, they put the right people in the right positions. Engineering, construction and operational. No VAR needed. Check them out below. We'll start with the ladies and Cheltenham Town, who were away at #United in the FA National League Premier Division South last Sunday and lost out in a 1-0 defeat. This game marked Libby Bell's 50th appearance for the club. Later today, it's FA Cup second round tie at home to Lewes FC, a team Cheltenham have beaten already in the league this season. Both Forest Green and Gloucester City's game last week was called off due to the weather. Forest Green have a home game against AK Boko, while Gloucester City is also at home to Saltash United later today. In the Southern League Division 1 South, Hardbury had a midweek trip to Westbury United, where they lost 2-1. Their game yesterday was called off. Bishop's Cleeve had no midweek game and yesterday hosted Brixham AFC and ran out convincing 6-1 winners. This leaves Cleeve 6th in the league, but they have games in hand on everyone in the league. Hartbury are 12th and likewise have games in hand on most teams. Midweek Wiseman lighting floodlit cup action for the Hellenic Premier League teams this week, where Slimbridge lost 3-2 to Westfields. Fairford beat Stonehouse 2-0 away from home. Cirencester lost 4-1 at home to Malmesbury Victoria. Lydney lost 5-3 on penalties after a 2-2 draw, and Long Levens went through 4-2 on penalties after a 2-2 draw with FC Stratford. In the Challenge Cup, Tuffley received a home walkover in their scheduled game against Eversley and California Reserves. And yesterday saw a return to league action where Cirencester got back to winning ways, hammering Droitwich Spa 5-1 at home. Long Levens were away at Mangotsfield and won 1-0. Lydney are continuing their resurgence with an excellent 3-1 win away over Hallen. And Cinderford drew 0-0 away at Pershaw Town. Slimbridge recovered from their recent blip and won 3-1 at home to Hereford Pegasus. And there was a county derby between Fairford Town and Tuffley Rovers, which finished 1-1 with Carnal Richards' opener for Tuffley cancelled out by Sol Easton Price's equaliser. That's the roundup from around the grounds. Back over to you, Dan.
Thanks, Chris. We're still waiting on Sean, but we've got a substitute. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. His name's called Robbie Savage. Welcome, Robbie.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Robbie.
Bit better now. We've got another win on the board, but we'll get on to that one later, Rob.
Yeah, I must say, listen, congratulations, guys, getting nominated for, is it the pod of the year? That's obviously down to the Forest Green aspect of this pod, because that's why only people tune in, because of the Forest Green element. But listen, well done. Me and Sean should take all the plaudits.
I say, Rob, I agree with that. You know. but thanks, yeah. No, it's we just said before you come on, it's down to people like yourself getting involved, and without you guys listening and getting involved, people wouldn't really care. So it was a bit of a surprise, but there's some big podcasts on there. I think one of them you've been on the national deck.
Yeah, that was good. I went on that the other night. It's amazing that anything the Forest Green's on gets nominated. Quite remarkable. All right, Chris.
All right, Robbie, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, it's down to the population in Aylesworth, Chris. That
I was going to say, I think because there's 6,000 people in Aylesworth, I think that's why we got nominated.
But again, that was. Listen, you know what it's like. That was down me basically sticking up for our fan base, because I know we got Stonehouse and Aylesworth and the surrounding areas of where the ground is, but for us to get that attendance with such a small population, that's what I was alluding to. I stick up for our fan base. To get 2,500 and to take like 300-400 away, considering the population. I don't know what Stonehouse is. I don't know what the surrounding areas are. But to be a village club getting those attendances, I think it's a credit. So, that's why I was at.
It's all just friendly banter.
Yeah, I know, Chris. And I was at Cheltenham against Notts County, and I must say, I was welcomed so well from people at Cheltenham. The fan base in the corner, they kept singing, banging the drum. It was an amazing support, and I know you had, I think, 5,500 yesterday, 1,500 travelling fans, brilliant atmosphere, great win for you guys. And I must say, I was so impressed with the fan base, the way they sang all the way through the game, especially, watching that game against Notts County. They kept going, the fans, and it was brilliant. I know we have a bit of banter, but
what I will say, Robbie, is it is chalk and cheese. If you go back 3 months, that wasn't happening. The connection that we've now got between the fans and the team and the staff is so much better than it was.
That's what you need,
and it's being shown.
That's what you need, Chris. You need an alignment. You need engagement for the fans, as I've said before. And yesterday, our fans away behind the goal were magnificent. It was terrible conditions for both sides, and our fans were great. And listen, we always go over to our players, and I was a bit disappointed, yesterday, because we'll come on to it. We can't keep doing what we're doing. It's getting like ridiculous how many chances we have, and I'm boring myself with these stats, because I analyse everything, we analyse everything, and we have to win that game. But anyway, we'll come on to it, I'm sure we will. Where's Sean?
He thought we were starting at past. He's always late. He'd be late for his own funeral, Rob, I tell you. But just to touch on some of you where you was talking, the population of Cheltenham is 118,000. The population of Stroud is 121,000. So there's no excuses, Rob. No excuses.
And Gloucester. Well, that's.
Yeah, well, I did don't.
It doesn't matter what the population of Gloucester is, Dave.
I think it does.
Yeah, but again, where is Forest Green? Is it in Stroud or is it Nailsworth?
It's part of Stroud. It is Nailsworth.
Well, the question is, where is the ground?
But in Nailsworth.
So what's the population of Nailsworth?
Oh dear.
So somebody's ringing Robbie.
What's the population of Nailsworth?
I think it's just over 5,500. What we had in Wadham Road yesterday.
Yeah, because people keep ringing me, Dad. I apologise.
That's fine. Yeah, I think it's 5,500 Nailsworth. Like I said, what we had in Wadham Road yesterday. But the thing is, Rob, if you can start losing a few games, we'll lay off the attendances and start taking the mickey at the results rather than just. That's all we got at the moment.
Mate, I've got plenty. I've been given so much back grief on X.
You know what makes me laugh?
My comments last week.
Do you know what makes me laugh with Chris and you, Dan? You're that obsessed with tweeting about Forest Green rather than your own club. It's getting quite embarrassing now. Honestly.
Well, no,
don't worry about us. We're fine. Don't worry about us. Don't
I was
worry
getting
about
out.
It must
I
be
was
nice
getting hammered.
Must be
by...
nice. It must be nice watching your team have 3 or 4 shots a game.
Hey, and
it's
score
nice picking up 3 points.
3 points,
relax,
yeah.
Chris,
Clean sheets, Rob.
Relax. Oh yeah, I heard Chris. Yeah, but you're conceding goals. You haven't kept the clean sheet for but we're scoring more than the opposition in recent weeks. That's our philosophy.
I did say that as well. I said, look, it doesn't matter if you score more goals than them, but it must be in the back of your mind.
No,
that you are conceding a lot of goals.
Not at all. We're not conceding a lot of goals. How is it in the back? It's not. So we conceded 1 yesterday. We conceded
and only picked up a point.
Yeah, we conceded 2 against Tamworth, but scored 4. We conceded 2 against Aldershot, scored 3. We scored 3 at Luton, but conceded 4 against the Championships, a League One side, and we could have scored 5. But again, I heard the pod last week, saying about how many changes, but the way we play is we all are always going to concede goals. And again, yesterday I could have gone ultra defensive at 1-0 up. But that's not us. That's not the way we play. We play with 4 wingers on the pitch, 2 as fullbacks, and those wingers will always change because of how much effort they put in. So I could easily go into the market and go and get 2 defensively minded fullbacks. No problem. But the entertainment value and the fun value and the results, and let's not forget, we're 1 point off the top of the table. I think we've got the 4th best defence in the league, Chris. So again, it does make me laugh when, people say, well, you haven't kept the clean sheet, but we're second, we're joint second in the league. We're flying, playing, I'm sure I'll allude to it, probably playing some of the best football that's ever been seen at Forest Green. And
is this phone going again?
It keeps going off. And that was the philosophy we all wanted to do. And it'll be frustrating at times for me because we defend we attack together, we defend together. And the goal yesterday, and I don't know if you've seen the game, guys, it was. I know after the game I was probably more frustrated than I've ever been because you have to go to Wealdstone, who had done great, by the way, on an unbeaten run. They were 8th, and people come away saying it was a good point. That point could win you the league come the end of the season, but I disagree. We have to win that game with the amount of opportunities. And when I say opportunities, I think we had 19-20 shots, 40 final third entries, but there was 10 or 15 times when we're in a situation in the box where players haven't shot. And again, it's like so frustrating because all you got to do is shift it a yard and shoot instead of getting the ball taken off you. So this is so frustrating, and we work on it. And in training, they shoot. I give my players the freedom to make mistakes in the final third. And what I mean by that is when they get into the final third, just play like you would when you were growing up as a kid. Take risks, do skills, but finish with something. So what I mean by that is, if you have an opportunity to shoot. And if it flies over the bar at the stadium, and I'll go at you. If you get a corner or throw it, or if they even get a goal kick, end with something. But yesterday, we're just having the ball taken off us before we've shot in unbelievable positions where people are on the edge of the seat. And if I was at home, I'm sure Sean was, and I've seen some Forest Green fans on social media saying, shoot. And I'm the same. I'm saying to the team at half time, please shoot. So all you got to do is shoot. So that's the biggest frustration yesterday.
Thing is, Rob, you say about, and I get the frustration about it's only a point, but I think we said on the pod last week and maybe the week before that places like Wealdstone, and there's no disrespect to them, the grounds are not great, the pitch is bobbly. They are the places where coming away with a point could be good because the likes of your Yorks, your Rochdales, and that, they may go there and actually drop points in terms of.
Rochdale and Carlisle have won there, I think.
They've been there, have they? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. But you know what I mean? So your rivals can go there and lose, so it could be a good point. Yeah.
We can see, Sean, that the Cheltenham part of this podcast don't do their research. Well, it's a fair point, but, and if you come away scoring, if you get the equaliser late on, you're probably on the bus, happy. But in the context of the game, with the amount of chances we've created again, and honestly, I'm like a broken record. And people allude to it that, oh, look, they're going to tweet the stats out, but they've drawn. And when we win the game, we've had nearly 80 shots in the last 2 games. And yeah, we're on a good run, 13 points from the last 15, fourth in the form guide, points off the top with 20 new players and a population of 6,000 or 120,000 Stroud, and not keeping clean sheets, but we're still second in the league.
Fourth, mate, Rob. Fourth.
Yeah, fourth. Fourth, good point. You've done your research. Well done.
Fourth on goal difference because you don't keep enough clean sheets.
Yeah, correct. So you asked Sean, listen, and last year, Forest Green drew too many games. And I don't know what the saying was. If you can't win it, don't lose it. But yesterday at 1-1, my philosophy is go and win the game. So Dausch has had a great opportunity, 1v1 in the 89th minute. The keeper saves it, and we've gone for it. And then they've broke away and had a 1v1, and Harry saved it. And if we'd have conceded that, I would have taken full responsibility and said we're trying to win the game. We're not settling for draws. As silly as that may sound, even away from home, we're trying to win games of football. I think that's our 6th or 7th draw this season. Is it? No, we've played 20, won 12, drew 6, drew 6, lost 2. But those draws, we've tried to win every game and left ourselves a little bit vulnerable because that's what we want to do. Because a point in this league drops you down the table by 3 places. That's how tight it is at the top. So if you look at yesterday, Carlisle with a last-minute winner. York were 2-2. They won the game 3-2. Rochdale won at Tamworth 2-1. Great wins. And we've drawn at Wealdstone, having dominating the game and chances, yet we've come away with a point. We're trying to win the game. So I tend to disagree with points because 3 points are so crucial. And now we've got a huge one against Southend at the weekend. But inevitably, my team are amazing. The players have bought into everything we've done. We're so dynamic and creative and brave. And the biggest surprise for me, guys, is that when you've got 20 new players and youngsters and first loans and players coming from lower to play higher, you'd think there'll be an inconsistency in performances because that's what young players do. But the consistency level of this group has been incredible. And I'm so proud of them because they're not phased by missing chances. They just have the next one, and eventually, and Sean will tell you, comes to nearly every game, is that when he's not working, is that we still do the same things. And if a young player misses an opportunity, he's brave enough to go and miss again and again and again, because eventually, when this drops, we're going to be frightening, and some team is going to be on the end of 7 or 8. I'm telling you, they are. If we can take our chances, but again, as a coach and a manager, how do you coach that? We're doing it in training. It's in the individual to take responsibility in the final third, and if they were, my players had a feeling of, oh, I can't shoot because if I miss, the gaffer's going to have a go at me. It's completely opposite. I'd rather them miss the target 30 times and shoot than have the ball taken off them.
Yeah. But do you think, like, yeah, I know you've alluded to it a few times, but do you think, like, yesterday, because I watched the highlights back last night, and the pitch looked quite bobbly, and there was one chance, I'm not sure, it was the lad on the left, I can't remember who it was. Dausch, yeah, he took that extra touch when he could have maybe hit it, but it seemed like the pitch was very bobbly.
Do you know what, Dan? So we have, because we've got, like every club probably, but our analytics team, we have metrics, we have so much data now, and we've composed our own data where if we hit these targets, in terms of final third recoveries, pressures in the final third, minimal amount of touches in the box, it goes to show that we'll win more games. And I think one of our metrics is if we have less than 4 touches in the box when we get in there, inevitably we score more goals. And I know that sounds a bit daft, but it's true. So yesterday, if you're looking, and you make a great point, Dan, that because we're having more than 4 touches per event in the box, we're not scoring goals. And yesterday was a prime example. When we beat Gateshead and when we win games, we limit our touches in the box. So again,
and less touches in the box gives the defence less opportunity to nick it.
Correct. So again, our metrics say that when we have less than 4, I think it's 3.42 touches in the box when we get in there, we will score more goals. And so again, that's one of our metrics. And yesterday, I think it was like 5.8 touches in the box, and it goes to show that when he scored 1. So we tell our players, limit your touches in the box, move the ball quickly, get your shot off. But yesterday we were taking too many touches, and that was a huge frustration. But I must say, the consistency levels of this group, I know we have a bit of banter on here, guys. I know we do, but I couldn't be prouder of what they're doing, what they've done. Temi yesterday was outstanding. His hold-up play, his power, he was bringing people into play. And one of the big things is, and I don't know what you guys think, because I love data and analytics. And I think if you look at Carlisle, if you look at York, if you look at Rochdale, if you look at Boreham Wood, one person has probably got a percentage of the goals. Like, I think, and I'll be corrected, but this percentage after yesterday might have changed a little bit. I think Linney's got 30-odd% of Carlisle's goals. The centre forward for Rochdale's got 30%. Boreham Wood's, one of their players, has got 30%. And up until yesterday, I think Kyle McAllister was our biggest percentage number of goals in the league, was 17%. And people say, well, if you had a number 9, because I know Sean's on social media saying we should go and get a player from the National League North, and we're having all these players watched. If you look at our team, the amount of chances that fall to the centre forward are few and far between. So when Cairo played and he's got 4 goals, how many chances has he actually missed? Well, not hardly any. Doidge, when he's played, hardly has missed a chance because they're not falling to the 9. The same with Dausch and the same with Temi. So our chances of falling to our 10s or our wide players or our fullbacks. So because of the way we play. So you're actually coming off the pitch thinking, if we invested in a number 9 right now to kick on, like one in the box or another centre forward, are those chances going to fall to our 9? Well, the way we play, I don't think they are. So I don't think in this team, because of we attack with, I would say we attack with 6 and leave 4 defensively. So most teams go with a 5 and a 5. We like to attack with 6. So that'll be the 2 fullbacks, the 2 wingers, the 9, and the 10. And at times, it will attack with 7 because one of the 6s will join in, like Isaac Moore yesterday. So we'll attack with 7 and leave 3. So that's how we play. But the amount of chances that fall to our 9 are few and far between. So I've never come off a game, Sean, I'm sure you can speak on this, that you've come off and said, wow, our centre forwards missed so many chances today. They don't, because of the way we play.
Sean, is he there? I think you're on mute, Sean. But he's saying
something, Sean.
Is Rob, just a quick one. I'm not going to mention said striker because I think I don't think it's fair to. But when we talk about a striker who's playing at National League safe level, he's scoring a lot of goals. This striker, everybody knows it. Me and Dave was having the conversation last night, and yes, it's nice to see strikers scoring goals and players doing well. But I said to Dave, because Dave was going, he had been in the Football League. Now, Cheltenham bought a player in called Liam Dawson, who scored 60-odd goals for Bedford. We bought him in. He scored 2 goals last season in the Football League. It's a different gravy, Robbie, isn't it? Going from National League safe and going up to that next level. Because a striker who can finish will always have that instinct to finish. But the difference is you've got defenders who read the game better. Your movement's got to be better. And maybe their movements is too good for National League safe level, but might get found out in the Football League. Is that fair?
It's such a great question because we've brought players in from lower who are performing for us. The number 9 obviously is a focal point of most teams, and Steve Bruce always used to say to us at Birmingham, "You're only as good as your strikers." So the players in National League North and National League South who were scoring goals. Temi was scoring goals for Worthing. He's come in and been brilliant. But Temi, I don't think, is a natural goal scorer. He offers the team, something different. And he's been magnificent for us. To find a natural goal scorer is very, very difficult. But again, it's the way you play. So if we were to bring in another number 9, I would say, and this is for you guys at Cheltenham as well, if you go for somebody lower again, from a lower division, and they don't perform, it would be a worry. Or do you go for somebody who's 29, 30, coming down from the league, who's proven there, who's probably on the way down? Do you go for somebody up and coming who's scoring goals from lower, take a chance? Or do you go for a proven goal scorer from the league who's on the way down? And I think our model now is probably going for lads who want to develop and who can get better for that model. But again, if we're in contact with the top 3 or 4 come January, when players are available, do you then think, do you know what, let's have a push and go and get a proven goal scorer from the league and pay a transfer fee? So that's the decisions you go through, me and my sporting director, Mark, and we're always looking. And there will be players available in January who aren't playing for their teams in the league, who might want to try and get us promoted. But that might be a short-term deal, because I think now where we're going is, you've seen it, we're creating a brand new squad, or we've created a brand new squad, players who can develop and get better. So it's a great question. And I know, there's 2 or 3 players who are scoring goals in the 2 leagues below, the North and the South. But are they going to score you the goals to get you into the Football League? You'll never know.
Well, a perfect example we talk about all the time. When Cheltenham got relegated to the Football League in 2015, we'd come straight back. But we signed a striker called Dan Holman, who scored 30 goals. Guy in the Football League, Rob, it was totally different. It was like you'd never seen this player.
But we're not in the Football League yet, Dan, are we?
What I'm saying is that the difference, this striker scored 30 goals in the National League. In the Football League, Cheltenham ended up releasing him, where I made a stupid statement going, he's the next Jamie
Doesn't sound
Vardy.
like you, Dan, at all.
He's the next Jamie Vardy because
Did he have a bad injury though?
he had an ankle injury, but still, it was just the difference when you're playing against defenders who read the game better. Then that striker then needs to be able to time his run or pull off or read.
I totally agree, but I don't think you can ever know whether the player in question is how they're going to do until they get it in the go. And I think having probably had more, I know this player that we're talking about and not naming better than anybody else on here, having shared a division with him last season, and he is different gravy. And going back to what Robbie says about touches in the box, I think that's his strength. He just gets a shot away so early. He's the ball comes in and it's like one touch or first touch, and he is a very good player. And I haven't seen quite a lot of him.
No doubt.
I was in no doubt he'd step up to the National League North and perform, and he has. And he scored 21 in 17 games or something. He is a good player, and I think the club.
Dave, are you his age?
No, I'm not. I mean, we almost signed him at the start of the season, but he stayed loyal to his hometown club. But I think when he gets a step up, I think he is going to be. I think he's too good for non-league, and I think when he hits the league, which I think he will, and I totally get what you're saying, Dan, talking about other players, but I think this lad's different, and I think the club that takes a gamble on him is gonna seriously benefit.
What I'm saying is that, you look at, not last season before, Cheltenham had Curtis Davis, who finished his career at Cheltenham. Curtis Davis against a player who's been playing National League safe level will read the game better because he's played at the top level.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, but I'm just thinking...
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like sometimes you can score a lot of goals, and then you go up those couple of divisions, you get found out because you'll always be a natural goal scorer, get the ball.
I agree, but I think this player is the exception to that, and I think he will. I think
we'll see, won't we? Because I think there's a lot of clubs
he will get his chance sooner or later.
Yeah.
See, what you look at is a profile of a 9 that fits your profile as a club. And right now, I look at our squad and thinking most of our chances fall to our wide players, to our full-backs, and to our 10s and one of the 6s. Look at Bunks. Bunks has got a few goals. Isaac with a great header yesterday. But you look at your data, and I've got several boards in my office, and our 10s, I think Nick's got 3 goals and 5 assists. Harry Whitwell's got no goals and 2 assists, and Isaac Moore's got 1 goal and no assists. They're our middle of the park players, so their numbers need to be better. But when I say that, because of goals and assists like Harry Whitwell against Luton, probably he got brought down for the penalty, and then the Douse's equaliser, he cut it back, keeper palmed it, then he tapped it, then he smashed it in down. So they don't go down as assists where they really should. He's done more work there to get an assist than somebody passing the ball 2 yards to a player smashing it from 25 yards. So again, I think those numbers are slightly off, but it's a great question on a 9. It's a great question, Dan, and everybody's looking for that 9 who can score them goals. And listen, we will be in the market if we're in contact for the league, which we will be. And we've got 6 or 7 profiles of players we're looking at, but that's not saying that the players we've got right now at our club are brilliant players, and I'm delighted with them all.
Well, here's a scenario for you, and you'll be able to answer better, Rob, because you was a midfielder. We got a player at Cheltenham called Harrison Sona, who's not been registered in the squad. He was on a 2-year deal. On the ball, probably 1 or 2 players in our squad who were probably better than him, but on the ball, he is unreal. He can ping a pass, but off the ball is the reason he doesn't get in the squad, because he gets what we played Cardiff away in the League Cup, and it was like watching a 9-year-old playing against men. He just literally walked through him because he's not got that. He's not switched on enough to know where I've got to follow that player. I've got to stay disciplined. That's what I'm kind of saying. Even with a striker, is like going, well, I'm not going to stay by that centre half. I'm going to move off him, and then I'm going to make that run to the front post or the back post. And that's the difference, I think, when you go up through the levels, that you might get found out a bit. Where, again, it's just what, my opinion.
Yeah, so, and I know, because I'm quite technical in terms of analysing games. And so yesterday, Nick Horton has been brilliant in the last 2 games. He was magnificent against Tamworth when he came on, scored a brilliant goal and gets lots of shots away. Against Gateshead, he was brilliant. Great pass for Temi. But yesterday, when you're looking at the conditions and the team and Wealdstone, you're thinking, right, let's go back to those, I would say the 3/8s. So Bunks, Isaac and Harry. And, you know, it was Isaac and Bunks and Harry as a 10. So I went with 2 6s and a 10. Without the ball, they all become 3/8s. And Nick was left out. So I speak to all my players. Nick understood. But Nick will play against Southend. But I contradict myself because when I look at the data from the Gateshead game, Nick Horton had the most ball recoveries in our team. So in the opposition half, Harry Whitwell had 7 ball recoveries in the opposition half, where in the whole game, Nick Horton had 9. But he recovered the ball in our own half. So my 10 in Nick, who I've said, listen, Nick, without the ball, going back to your point, Dan, you have to work harder. So he's worked unbelievably hard. He was brilliant, and he's recovered the ball in our half more times than any of our 6s. But then again, he's not having that many chances in the final third because he's working so hard off the ball. So I contradict myself a little bit because I'm saying to Nick, you've got to work harder without the ball, become an 8. He's done that, but then he's less effective in the final third. So again, it's a difficult one because the last 2 games, he's been brilliant. And a few people asked me questions after the game because we always play with 16 players. When I say always, because we like to freshen it. And I was asked a question from the local media. It was a fair question. You know, you only made 3 changes. So yesterday, when you're at the game and you're seeing the whole picture, the whole pitch, and you're looking how dynamic we were, and our stats yesterday, I think we had in the course of the season, in 20 games, our 6th highest stats of the season in terms of physicality. And that was on a very heavy pitch. So I made the changes. Gilly was ill, so he had to come off. He felt unwell at half time. He went home Thursday and didn't feel well, but he trained Friday. But then half time he had to come off, so Kenji went on. Doush came on and Trey came on. So I've changed me both fullbacks, and then I've brought Jaden off, who's been brilliant in recent weeks, and put Doush on. Then you're thinking, right, can you put Nick Horton on? Could you put Ryan Innes on and go to a 5-3-2? But because the changes we made and the way the game was going, I always thought we were going to win it. So the changes would have just been for the sake of making changes because we were in the ascendancy and there was only going to be one winner. There was. So again, I'll make those changes if I feel it's necessary. But Dow should have scored. You know, Kenji's gone clean through and tried to lob the keeper from 40 yards and he's through. Just keep going. And the changes were, again, positive changes. So, yeah, but it's difficult. You're coming up with a game plan, and the game plan, once again, it was so close because Dow should have scored the winner.
Yeah, I thought Babalola on the 5 minutes into the second half.
Got to score.
He's got to score, hasn't he?
Yeah, got to score. But he was brilliant, and you know. But again, I'll forgive him that because he got his shot off. And the keeper's made a save. I'm never going to have a go at any of my players for being brave and shooting. That's what we won. And Sean will tell you the amount of times Sean sat behind me at home and I'm saying, shoot. Shoot. I can't get it why we're not shooting. And yesterday was the most frustrated I've been. But listen, we've got an unbelievable group. And I know we have a bit of banter. We are such a good side. We're so good and we're so great to watch. Inevitably, we might fall short because the league, Rochdale are so good, York are so good, Carlisle are good, Boreham Wood have been brilliant, Scunthorpe, Southend, all the teams up there.
It's a phone call.
all the teams up there are so good and the race is so tight. And right now, if the season finished now, you're thinking, right, Rochdale would go up, and you would say deservedly because they've been brilliant. Carlisle would have a home semi-final. York would have a home semi-final. So right now, we would play 4th v 7th. We'd play Southend at home. That'd be correct, Sean, wouldn't it? And then 4th v 7th. So does then if we won, so we'd finish 4th, would we go to the 3rd place team or the 2nd place team, Sean?
You go to second. No, you go to 3rd.
So right now, if the season finished today, we'd have to beat Southend at home. Then we'd have to go to York, and then, maybe beat Carlisle at Wembley.
Here's a question for you.
Pardon?
Here's a question for you, Robbie. Me and Sean spoke about this after the playoffs last season. Now, with how the format of the playoffs are, if Forest Green don't go up automatically, would you rather finish 4th and play that extra game to keep momentum, or have those 2 weeks off and maybe kill your players when it comes to playing whoever?
Oh. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys have more knowledge than me than this. I think there's not a bit as big a gap this year in the playoffs. I might be wrong. Somebody touched upon it because obviously we're looking to win the league, but we've got to look at the playoff scenario. Would I listen? I'd rather finish 2nd or 3rd to have a home semi-final. I think at home with our pitch, with the way we play, then we can beat anybody at home.
It is hard, isn't it? It's hard having to wait 2 weeks. Those the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are playing, so they're coming in on the match fitness, and you're going in after 2 weeks off. It's unfair on second.
Well, what happened last year, Dan? I'm led to believe, and I'll be corrected, but in that break, I'm not sure. And I don't know what the intensity levels of training were like at Forest Green. If we finished 2nd or 3rd, we would keep the intensity levels up to go into that game as if we'd had a game called off. So hypothetically, we finished 2nd or 3rd, we would continue the season as is with the intensity levels of training, and we'd probably have a couple of bounce games behind closed doors. So we would be ready for that game. Where I think last year, I'm not sure the intensity levels were sustained in the period of not playing.
You could potentially play as Talk of the County Select 11 if you want.
Well, we could play Gloucester and put 28 past them.
You're on mute, Dave. I want to hear that come back.
FA Trophy, and we'll see.
Play with the FA Trophy, and we'll see.
I'd love that. We've got Weston-super-Mare, but we want to. I'd love to have played Gloucester.
Well, there's another round afterwards.
Who have you got, Dave?
You get past Weston-super-Mare.
Who have you got, Dave?
Worthing at home. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, you'll go out, Dave.
We shall see.
Robbie's saying that after going down there, demoralising them on national TV, and then going back in and nicking their best player.
So if we hypothetically we both won, Dave, and we beat you, who's your best player?
Simpson.
We brought Kane Simpsons in, who's a classic number 9, who's now scored. He's been with us 4 games, scored 5 goals. He's excellent. Harry Pinchard in midfield.
He had a trial at Cheltenham, didn't he?
He went on trial for Cheltenham at the start of the season. Didn't get taken on, but he's only a young lad.
Honestly, on a serious note, Dave, because I love local football. Gloucester.
At least you're saying Gloucester, not Worcester.
I went there. Didn't our youth team play there? Am I right?
Yes.
Quite possibly.
Yes. Yeah, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
2-1.
And I must say, Dave, lovely people there. Nice ground as well. 3G, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I was made so welcome. And I think you had, when I went there, you just had the derby. Am I right? Is it a derby?
We haven't really got a derby, to be honest.
Did you play somebody in the FA Cup or the trophy?
Oh, you played Hartbury in the FA Cup.
Oh, we played Hartbury in the FA Trophy. Yeah.
FA Trophy. Yeah.
But yeah, listen,
it's a tough one to get excited about, really.
Would Gloucester Forest Green the trophy be a big game?
It would, yeah. I mean, if it was at Meadow Park, I think we'd have 4,000 there. We're averaging 1,100 this season.
Brilliant.
And we don't. And you've got to take into account there that at the level we're unfortunately at, now
Where's
you
the
don't
ground,
really
Dave?
get away fans. So you're getting 30 or 40 max away fans. So we're
I think Chris was
Dave,
banter here,
where's your
Dave.
ground?
Yeah.
Where's why?
Hey Rob,
Where's the ground?
what you got to think of, Rob? Right, when you look at the three clubs, Gloucester City, Cheltenham Town, Forest Green. You'll appreciate this because you played for Blackburn. So you had Blackburn, Accrington, and Burnley. Forest Green are like Accrington, like please hate us, and then you got Gloucester who've fallen off, into non-league. And you got Cheltenham up in the football league going, come on, someone be a rival. It's a bit like that.
Blackburn had
at the
Preston
end of the
and
day,
Bolton as well,
Gloucester is, of the three places, Gloucester's got the biggest. I know we were talking earlier about population. The population of Gloucester is 160, 170,000.
Yeah.
With
To be fair, before I come to Cheltenham, I didn't know it had a football team. I just thought it was for horse racing.
There's a lot of people. It's quite frustrating.
Yeah, but
We're doing a lot of work in the community to try and get because people just say Gloucester is a rugby city, but it just isn't. I mean, the amount of people in Gloucester who love football but support Liverpool, Man United, and we're working hard in the community to get people to know.
That's big, Dan. That's big, Dave. Because listen, before people jump on this, I was only joking about that, by the way, about the horse racing. It's banter. What I will say that I think Forest Green, what Dale does for the community and the initiatives he does is quite remarkable. And people say, well, you only give free tickets away to get more fans in the ground. It's not. Honestly, what he does for our community and our football club is remarkable. 400 free shirt giveaway, grassroots teams.
But it's lovely to be able to do it if you can afford it. We'd love to do it.
Yeah.
It's the sentiment's there, but we haven't got the multi-millionaire there who can just chuck the money at it.
Yeah, but he's still got to come up with initiatives, Dave, and he's got to do it, and he's there all the time, and you're seeing him having the photos.
He's incredibly good at
honestly,
he's a genius at it. But
honestly, it is, and the staff that do it. But it makes a massive difference that when the North Stand is full with grassroots kids and families, and we're giving these giveaways, and it's. He can do it, but he wants to do it. That's the big thing.
We want to do it, but we just can't afford to do it.
Yeah, and he's a credit. He's a credit. Listen, and I know I keep saying it. I think being in the area now, and I know this may sound I'm not telling the truth, but I want all three clubs to do really well. I really do, because I went with my kit man, Gav, to watch Cheltenham, and I was made to feel so welcome. I know there's a little bit of rivalry and tribalism, but I loved it. And at Gloucester, I was made to feel so welcome. I love going to watch football, and I'll go and watch Slimbridge. I've already asked Gav because I'm going to go
watch football at Gloucester.
You ought to come to. I mean, it's a bit of an unfair reflection on the experience going to an under-18s game. I mean, the under-18s, but there's probably 100 people there.
Yeah,
we should have.
When do you have midweek games?
We're playing on Friday, the 5th of December, Friday night game.
Oh, we're on the Saturday. We're playing.
Come along.
You'd
be very welcome, and
I will.
There'll probably be about 2,000 there, judging by ticket sales so far.
To be fair, if I come, that'll be another 1,000 on the gate. So
another one.
The thing is, Rob, I was going to go to that game because it's on a Friday. So at least if they can eat
do you know what?
Let's have our Christmas party on the Friday.
Dave, do you know what though? I've never seen so many Cheltenham fans at a Forest Green game. Recently I've had Cheltenham fans come up to me and say, "No, we're watching you." It's quite remarkable.
Is that why your gates have been up? Oh, so it's not because people are.
I don't know why so many Cheltenham fans are coming to watch us. I've met a few of them in recent weeks.
Hey, I had a message last night, Rob. Apparently the Wealdstone Raider was there yesterday, and he went, "You got no fans," and everybody went, "That's very true." Anyway, let's get back onto Forest Green. I want to talk about Babalola because we were saying the other day that he had a couple of games to settle in, but he's really hit the ground running there, Rob, hasn't he?
The Premier League manager just ringing me, believe it or not.
Name drop.
No, I didn't say the name.
He's leaving.
So there was one moment yesterday when the ball's gone up to him, he's held it and he's put Kyle through, and that was for Doushie's chance at the end.
Yeah.
So the profile we wanted with him was, somebody who can affect the game. That's the biggest thing for any player. How do you affect the game? And what what he does as well is that for 60, 70 minutes, I say to all my players in the attacking area and the fullbacks, centre halves and the six are probably different. Give me 60 minutes, everything you've got, and I'll carry you off. I'll carry you off on my shoulders. Just give me everything. So you know that, oh, you've just for 60 minutes, give me everything. And he did that. But yesterday was so good that I left him on for 90. Because he was such a threat and he was bringing people into play, and he's come from obviously Worthing and now he's in the full-time model and he's loving it. You've seen the fans singing Temmie's on fire, and a lot of people said, oh, the manager again, he's doing it for himself. No, I've had 80,000 people singing that about me. Do you know what I mean? Not very often, but I've had it every week of my life in the Premier League. I want my players to experience what I played, and that adulation end of the game when you deserve it and the fans are singing Temmie's on fire. You know, he felt 10 foot tall, because that's what I want to do to my players. I want to give them that belief that as soon as they step onto that pitch, they can do anything. And he's certainly doing that, and he's been absolutely magnificent for us. And again, as all my players have been. And I'm so proud of every one of them, because it's, you know, it's hard sometimes going out your comfort zone, away from your family, to a new environment, to a new club. And the culture we've created is just, honestly, it's been breathtaking to see how our players have done. Honestly, I'm so proud of them.
You've got a few players, like, you know, you seem to stand out. Obviously, you still got Temmie. He's been playing sort of, because one thing I've noticed watching your highlights back, Robbie, is that you seem to have a lot of joy down the left. You did against Gateshead, and you did yesterday. You know, a lot did come from the left hand side.
So it's about partnerships now, and do you know what? You know, people say when you bring in so many players, it'll take them a while to hit the ground running. Well, I think we've proven that in our case not to be true, because we only lost 2 games in 20 in the league. And every player, if you're good players and you can take things on board, you can adapt. So again, but now after 20 games, Dan, I'm actually finding to now work out what my best team is. 1 or 2 places probably still with rotation. But right now, I'm probably at a point 20 games in where if I had a playoff final tomorrow, I'd probably know 9 or 10 of my starters. And at the start of the season, you know, I don't know how many times we've kept the same team, because we've got 20 starters. So the left-hand side with Gilly and Jaden in recent weeks has been absolutely brilliant. And again, the goal come from Gilly's cross yesterday, and we missed Gilly in the second half. But we're always gonna concede chances, as Chris is saying, because of we're so expansive in the way we play, and we play with wingers, so that as fullbacks. So Gilly is a winger, Kenji is a winger, Knowles is a winger, Trey's a winger. So we are always going to concede chances. But the partnerships now are starting to form. You know, the wide areas, Knowlesy and Kyle have now got a good relationship. But Trey also had a great relationship with Kyle. Gilly and Jada on that left-hand side now have got good partnerships. So, yeah, it's the way we play.
There's obviously a couple, you know, you say Isaac Moore scored his first goal yesterday, and what an header. We'll get on to that. Carl McAllister, I asked Sean a question last week, and I know it's hard for you to say, Rob, but do you think Forest Green may struggle to hold on to him if you don't go up?
No, I think I think we've got a club option.
Okay.
I think I might be wrong. I'm wrong lots of times, but I think we've got a club option on Kyle, but I might be wrong. And obviously, Kyle, before he broke his hand at Boston, you know, was struggling for form a little bit. He was. But since he's came back, he scored goals. He's been magnificent. Even in his interview, he said he's playing really, really well. Yesterday, he's had 5 opportunities to shoot. And at half-time, what I've said to him is, if I'm playing against you, Kyle, because you play on the right, wanting to cut in your left. So at half-time, because in the first half, and Sean would have watched it, there was twice he's 1v1 against his defender, he gets into the box, he comes inside again, and then he gets the ball taken off him looking for the extra pass. At half time, I said, right, Carl, second half, shift it onto your right and smash it. If you can go both ways, and the defender's thinking, right, which way is he going to go here? If you can add that to your game, you wouldn't be playing at these levels. If you can shift it onto your right and smash it, then if I'm a defender right now, I'm thinking, right, Carl's coming in against me. My body shape, my position is thinking, show him inside. Show him inside, and I show him inside, and I'll get the blocking. Yeah? Because that's what... But if you're doing that, and all of a sudden you can just shift it onto your right, the defender's body shape will have to turn, therefore you'll get the extra yard and smash it with your right. So, this week we'll be working on that with Kyle. We're going to have to, because teams now, are beginning to, and I don't know why they've not seen it before, because he's so good in the National League Team of the Year, and he's my captain. Right now, he's my captain because that's how good he is. But, we've got to work on the end product from Kyle. And if he can go both ways, then he becomes unstoppable at times.
I genuinely think, for just a personal view, I think the game at Luton, he was your game changer. He ran the midfield that second half.
He's a brilliant player, and he's a great lad. And again, we've got Kyle's numbers in our team should be double figures for goals and assists. Kyle should be looking for a minimum of 20 goal involvements. And so should Jaden Clark. And so should the wide players, because that's what they're there to do, to assist and score. So we need our wide players to have 20 goal involvements, and that's the aim for every single one of our attacking players, 20 goal involvements. And it's not out of the question, because again, I'll probably bore you lot when I say about the chances we create, and I'm boring myself now. But again, is it a worry when you stop creating them? But we are always going to create chances because of the way we play.
No, exactly. And just finally on there, on another player, and Harry Whitwell. It's more to put Sean at ease here, because he's got his son a forest green shirt with Whitwell on for Christmas. Is he going to be here after January?
Yeah, well, listen, I think the kid is loving his football. He's been magnificent. He needs to get more numbers because he's playing as a 10. So he needs to get numbers on his data. He does. Yeah, on the eye, he's been brilliant. He's a great kid. Honestly, wow, what a kid. Isaac, all my players, listen, they're all brilliant. They're all on and off the pitch. But he is an exceptional individual. Honestly, I couldn't speak highly enough of him, Isaac, all my players. But him in particular, he's polite, great family, his work ethic. He's first in the building and last out with Isaac every day. They just want to be footballers and want to be the best they can be, and they're getting the rewards. And it's no coincidence that the players who work the hardest consistently get the rewards. And look at my son, Charlie, because when I was doing the interview with the local media, my phone went, it was my boy, who scored another worldie yesterday. That's 2-2. But I said in the interview, well, he's shooting. He scored 2 worldies because he's shot. And he's taken risks. My players need to do that more. But Harry Whitwell, yeah, listen, we'd love to keep him. I'm sure there'll be interest. But I think because how I am with him and how we manage him and how he's embraced it and how he loves it, he's living with, a couple of the lads as well. So they've got a great camaraderie. I think he'll want to see it through. Because if he got called back and was put on loan somewhere else, he's got... The thing is, for players at a young age, they have to play. They have to play, and he's almost guaranteed to play, but he'll need a rest. He'll need a rest because of the amount of games, so we've got to manage him. But I think we've done that brilliantly well with all our young players. Look at Isaac yesterday. Got left out of the team, didn't sulk, got on with it. One of the best trainers at the club, got his opportunity and scored a brilliant header. So right now, and this is, as a manager, what you got to think about, we've got a game Tuesday in the the National League Cup against Nottingham Forest. If we win, we're through to the quarter-final. So because of the rule, we've got to think, right, what players have to start the game, which players have to come off very early because they're going to play Saturday, and what's my team going to be on Saturday looking like? And the team on Tuesday reflects that. So Bunks has been great. Harry Whitwell's been great. Nick's been great. And Harry, the 4 players have been great, but I'm going to play with 3 in there. So at home, do I sacrifice a 6 and play with 2 10s? So I've said Nick's going to play. So is it a Wits or a Harry, is it Harry, Isaac or Bunks that get left out in rotation? But again, I've said to my players, you're not getting left out because of performance. I trust each and every one of you, and I'll put you in. I'll put you in the side because I think Southend players 3-5-2 like to build through their 6s. So I'll probably play with 2 10s and 1 6 because I'll go man for man in the build up. So again, one of the 6s will probably get left out, but as Mick was left out, but they get it, they understand because they want the team to do that well. They now know they're not getting left out on performance. They're getting left out due to every player's bought into what we want to do, and they understand that there will be rotation. So again, it's we're in a great place, and as Cheltenham, I think Cheltenham will stay up. Now, I hope you stay up. I really, really do. And I'd love to be playing you next year in the league. Of course, it would be brilliant for both sides. Of course it would. And I know we have banter on here, and as I've said, I'm delighted that, because of the input of Forest Green, that you're getting nominated for awards. Your Twitter feeds, all of you, are just so focused on Forest Green. It's really, really nice. It's really nice to see it, guys.
Yeah, pretty.
And to be fair, Dan, the amount of, when I've come to watch Cheltenham, the amount of photos I was having with Cheltenham fans was quite incredible. I didn't see any of your players or staff having photos of your own fans, but they were all wanted mine. But this is fine.
I heard you was disappointed that you didn't get one with that Dan Hopkins over, Rob, when you.
It's fine, Dan. Listen, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But on a serious note, your fan base was brilliant, and I said to Sean, they were so good. They kept going, as our fan base are at home and away. And again, Gloucester fans, I'll come to that game on the Friday, Dave. I really will. If you let people know, there'll be an extra few on the gate for you.
Lose a few. You'd be more than welcome.
Is Sean not speaking on this pod? No.
No, he's mute now.
I think he's having
screen section and he's not said a word.
He's having problems.
He's had his tongue amputated.
Here he is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, sorry,
I bored you for 15 minutes, guys. I apologise.
1 hour
I just love
3,
talking
actually.
football. Can you edit this?
I hope so.
You won't have to.
Yeah, I've got to edit. But I got one more question before you go, Rob. We're almost halfway through the season. So two questions. Who's the best side you played? And who do you expect to be your main challenger?
Best side we've played, Rochdale. But I'll take
Great defence, Rochdale, by the way.
I'll take responsibility for that. Me and my staff will, because we were too negative. And we focused more on them than we did ourselves. So if I could play that again back at home, I would have gone totally different. And I think, would it have been a different outcome? Who knows? I think Rochdale were brilliant. York, I think York right now possibly are the team that could win the league. Carlisle have got so many good players, but in the terms of the top teams we've played, Carlisle weren't the best, but again, they could easily win the league with a brilliant manager. And the other one, so with Rochdale ourselves, Carlisle, York. If Boreham Wood won the league under Luke, it would be unbelievable. Wow, what a story that would be, because they are a very, very good side. You've got Scunthorpe. Andy's doing a great job. I don't think they will win the league. I don't think Boreham Wood will win it. Southend, the run they went on last year under Kevin, they could easily have a run. So right now, and I think anybody outside that top 7 can't win the league. Can Wealdstone, Hartlepool win the league? I don't think so. But if you said right now, I think there's 5 teams that can win the league. If Boreham Wood or Scunthorpe won it after getting promoted last year, it would be remarkable, and those 2 managers would deserve so much credit because they are going up against teams with, significant budgets. Let's be totally honest. So for them to, and I don't know what Scunthorpe's is, it might be quite large, but in comparison to ours and other teams in the top, probably aren't anywhere near it. So those 2 managers are doing an incredible job. People always go on about our budget. They do, but it's nowhere near what it was last year. It's not at all. And this time next season, I would suggest from this time last season, it would probably be halved. Again, and people don't recognise that because the easiest thing to say is Forest Green the budget. And to be fair, I heard it yesterday. You're in the league. You never hear in the league. I never hear Steve Cottrell saying if they lose, well, their budget. It only seems to happen in non-league when people talk about budgets, and I don't understand it. We're very fortunate to have an unbelievable owner and board who give their managers a chance. But again, from this time last year to now to this time next year, I would suggest that our budget, players and staff, would have been halved, which is brilliant. And the youngsters and the average age of the squad come down by about 4 years. So people will brush over that because it doesn't suit the narrative. But that's what we've done in a short space of time, and we can be proud of it. So I think Rochdale or York are our biggest challenges. I think Carlisle will always be a challenger because of the size of the club. But I'm never going to talk about other people's budgets. I never do. But I know what other clubs are within, probably a few 100,000. But never mention it. Other managers always seem to mention ours, and I don't get it.
Yeah, no. So I've got York and Rochdale. That's probably what I think will probably challenge you. But I think that's a good place to wrap up for Forest Green. Again, Rob, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you taking the time out. And,
listen, I love the banter. Listen, just do me and Sean a favour. Try talking about your own teams on social media, not us all the time. Yeah, Chris, is that okay? Don't be as like...
Hey, I don't talk about Forest Green. It's Forest Green fans coming to me.
Yeah, listen, say to all the Cheltenham fans now coming to watch Forest Green, thank you. Yeah.
It's a good job they did come and watch you, Rob, because we would have been sold out yesterday.
Relax, Dan. That is fine. Looking forward to coming to watch Gloucester, Dave, on that Friday. Will you be there?
Yeah, I'll be right inside the turnstiles selling programs, so you can't miss me, Mr. Savage.
Brilliant. So I look forward. I'll come.
Dave also likes a bin, so watch out for those bright bins.
I think I'm even going along, Rob. We'll have a bit of banter for the game.
Yeah, come back. Do we go together?
Yeah, we'll go together. We'll have a bit of banter. But at least if you're there, they ain't going to want to beat me up because being a Cheltenham fan, because they'll be concentrating on you.
Well, let's go together. That'd be quite good. That. Who have you got on the Saturday? The
6th? Buxton in the FA Cup at home.
Oh, well, we've got Solihull, who were on a good run but lost yesterday. So we'll do that on the Friday. Listen, I know, tongue in cheek, guys. I love coming on for you guys. It's great, and yeah, listen, keep up the good work, and hopefully you'll win that award. And what me and Sean will do if you win it, me and Sean will go up and get it. Because it's about Forest Green, really, this pod.
It is when you're on.
So when we're on first, people probably, switch it off when they come on to Cheltenham and Gloucester, but it's fine.
They've already switched off, Robbie. They've already switched
off. All right, guys.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rob.
Well done, guys.
Brilliant. So that was Robbie Savage. We're going to go on to, I think we'll go on to Gloucester City first because we've got 2 games to cover for Gloucester. So that was actually quite a good pod, to be fair. A good bit of banter. Right, let me just skip down my notes, Dave, and we'll come to you because you had 2 games, starting off with Basingstoke away on Tuesday night. A nice 2-0 win. What was your thoughts on the game, Dave?
Couldn't make it. I couldn't get away from work in time, so I've only seen highlights. I listened to it on the radio. Excellent professional performance. Great result. I can't really go into it in too much detail because obviously I wasn't there. But if you remind me of the goals,
So 5 minutes in, Gloucester got lucky as the ball crashes off the bar. But I think then, like after 20, for the first 25 minutes, I think Basingstoke were on top.
Yeah, they sounded it. Yeah.
City seemed to finish the half quite strong, but not a lot happened. Simpson, as ever, Dave, we're always talking about him. Simpson was heavily involved in the first half. Everything was going through him.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to talk about him more in depth as we go on, but he's what a signing! What a signing!
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly what we've been crying out for. We hoped he was going to be. He ticked all the boxes, and he's come in.
Where did he come from?
He came for it was a bit of a weird situation. He was with Taunton, having been with Merthyr scoring 20 for Merthyr in their promotion season last season. They went up to the National League North. He left, went to Taunton, but he was their top scorer when he left. But he wasn't very overly complimentary when he left and said he wanted to leave. He wasn't. I don't know. Loughman's the sporting manager, isn't he? And he's quite notoriously interesting. So yeah, they didn't get on. He left. Their loss is our gain. He's come in 4 games, 4 starts, 5 goals.
Yeah, he has. He's done really well. Second half, 9 minutes into the second half, you hit the bar, and Simpson follows up with is it Regal? Regan?
Michael Regan header.
Yeah, it's the bar. He sort of like hammers down. He's sort of like
first to react, let it bounce, and then just nodded it in. Yeah,
nods it in. That's 1-0, and then you're on your way, Dave. And I find apart from the Berkhamsted game, which was a really odd game. Obviously, when City tend to take the lead, they tend to go on to win the game, don't they?
Yeah, and speaking to some people who are there, said the second half performance was as good as we played this season. We absolutely battered them, and then a great second from Kane.
Before that, Marcus Day went close, forced the keeper into a save, and he's a player for Gloucester who's starting to. They always seem to, when we talk about it on the pod, there's always like with his King Beidou, as Joe Hanks, it's certain players come out and we're mentioning them a lot, and we're doing that with Marcus Day.
Marcus Day was man of the match yesterday as well. He's come in, he's done really well. Tidy little player, dangerous. He's been a good addition.
And then you go 2-0 up, Simpson. What a goal! What I will say, if you had the referee that Cheltenham had yesterday, he blows up and gives a free kick all day long, because it seems like he backs into the defender and knocks him flying. I personally, Dave, I don't think it's a free kick. No. Some of the soft decisions.
Yeah, he sort of was falling over, wasn't he, himself, and then just saw the keeper off his line from about 40 yards.
Great goal.
Just struck it, yeah.
He showed strength, determined. We talked about the lad for Forest Green Babalola last week, where he could have gone down, but decided to stay on his feet and score. And that's what he done, wasn't he? He could have stayed down and asked for a free kick, but the finish was sublime, wasn't it?
It was.
And then they had another chance and 1-on-1 with the keeper, and the keeper saved. But didn't have any bearing on the result. Simpson nearly got an hat trick with a back heel, and it just literally went wide. But all in all, a good night on the road. And like you said, not including yesterday, that was 4, that's 11 in total that he's scored now. 4 for City as of Tuesday. I've done a little list of goal scorers for Gloucester, and it's actually quite good reading for you guys.
Spread it around. We don't rely on one at all. We've got goals throughout the team.
This is the list I got. So this is before yesterday's game. Simpson 11 goals, Joe Hanks 8 goals, Pinchard 5, Watts 4, Wildig 3, King Bedu 3, and there's a couple of others on 2. So you're right, it's spread around the team, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We look dangerous all over the pitch. All the midfielders are more than capable of scoring, and as are the wing backs, and as are our centre backs. I think O'Regan's one of those on 2. So yeah, we've got goals throughout the team without a doubt.
And that's always good in a title chasing team because, we were just talking with Robbie, like teams who have that striker who scores 15, 20 goals a season. Hey, we all want one.
Yeah, of course. They
Yeah,
should be rated in one basket then, aren't they? And,
yes.
If they're not there, like in the tree, we're not going to have Simpson in the trophy because he's cup tied, having played earlier in earlier rounds with Taunton. But you're still confident that we're going to score goals. Be interesting to see us get slapped by Worthing.
Something that stands out to me is 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and that's coincided with Ben Richards Everton coming back.
Yeah, that's obviously pleasing. We've spoken a lot about goals, haven't we? But obviously that's pleasing for you guys because it's funny. Joking aside, we did mention it on last week's pod, and we said, is it a concern you conceding a few goals? But you said Richards Everton's come back, and
O'Regan are a great pairing at the back. O'Regan's a ball playing centre half, 6'4", 6'5", but a cultured centre back, and then you've got Bree, who's the same size, built like an outhouse, and is just a very, very difficult man to get past. And they complement each other really well. When we've got both of them back there, I always feel pretty confident.
Yeah. Daft's thoughts, said it was a really good win. Pleased with the performance start to finish, which he hasn't been of late. So he was pleased with that. Again, he mentions maybe not as clinical as enough. Probably a bit talking like Forest Green here, but the chances City have had of not taking Dave. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, maybe, but yes, as Robbie said, you're better off you're making the chances and not scoring as many as them as you expect to. That's got to be better than not creating the chances because eventually we're going to beat somebody 6 or 7-0.
So and he goes on to say, he said the strong bench which City have got, you seem we'll get on to yesterday's game in a minute, but you can rest players, and the players you're bringing in, you're going.
Yeah.
It's not weakening your side, is it?
Not at all. No, there's players on the bench, starting on the bench that you could argue should be in the first team. So, yeah, very first time in a long time that the bench, you've got players on there who really, if the game isn't going your way, you feel that that's got the ability to really alter the game rather than having it made up with sort of used team players or it's a nice place to be in.
I'd say probably the most pleasing thing of the night, Dave, and I think you made this quite clear in our WhatsApp chat. That Walton were 4-1 up, and their game got abandoned.
I know, shockingly unlucky, isn't it? Third consecutive season that Walton and Hersham have been playing at Sholing, and the floodlights have gone off. That's just bizarre, isn't it? 2 games abandoned, 1 was restarted, but yeah, 3 consecutive years the game's been interrupted by the lights going off. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 4-1 as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd have gone off if they was 4-1 up.
I don't know. Well, the statement from Sholing have said they're more than happy for the result to stand.
No, if I was Gloucester City, I'd be knocking on the door.
They can't do that, can they? I mean, imagine the clubs that have been made to replay games when they were winning are going to turn around and go, well, wait a minute, but there's got to be a precedent. And
well, you got to look at the Blackburn Rovers Ipswich game a few weeks ago when I think Ipswich were down to 10 men, losing 1-0, but they've got to go back and play the game.
Yeah, I've no doubt that game will have to be replayed. Would be be wonderful if they drop points in it, but
yeah. Before we move on to yesterday's game, which you was at, so Chris, Sean, you got any thoughts on Gloucester's result?
Nope.
Hang on, Sean, you're on mute, mate.
Sorry, yeah. No, I predicted 2-0. I thought, pretty comfortable win in the end for them. And yeah, I mean, they've had a good week really with Walton and Hersham.
Yeah, very good week. Yesterday was an excellent day all round.
We'll get on to that one now. Chris, anything to add?
No, it's said no.
Nope, nothing, mate.
Nothing. Right. And you've obviously now got the game in hand, Dave.
No, they've got a game in hand.
Sorry, they've got the game in hand. Sorry. It. Are you hoping that the game in hand curse kicks in?
Hope so. They're still in the FA Trophy. So if we do crash out against Worthing as predicted and they progress, then maybe they might start with a bit of a backlog. But who knows? But yeah, moving on to yesterday. We got another excellent 3 points with a fantastic home performance, and Waltham and Hersham dropped points at home to Hungerford with a nil-nil draw. So that puts us only albeit they've got a game in hand, but we're only 1 point behind them now, and we're playing them pretty soon. So sort of back in our hand.
I had two. I had 2 points because you were 7 behind, wasn't you?
Sorry, 2 points. Yeah, 13. Yeah, we're on 30. 13.
Yeah, it is 2 points because obviously, you got the 3 points Tuesday night, which takes us down to 5. You won yesterday, they drew.
Yeah, 41 and 39. They've got one game in hand. So
it's not bad. A Forrester can count. I know I got the extra fingers or not. So let's move on to yesterday's game. Obviously, you was there, Dave. So your thoughts on the game?
Played really well. Really, really professional performance. Absolutely dire day. I was not expecting many people to clamber out of their warm houses, but we got just only a smidgen under 1,000 there yesterday to keep the average up to about 1,100-1,200. So, and we played really well from the start to finish. We just looked a much better side. They didn't really threaten. We looked comfortable at the back, and really, really, we had so many chances. We had enough chances to win 3 games.
Yes, yeah, indeed. So Simpson has the first real chance on 9 minutes where his shot goes just wide. So again, at the focal point of your attack. On 11 minutes, Sion Spence gets behind, but is a bit indecisive, and the defender recovers. Sean, what have I got? Sion.
It's spelled Sion. It's just the Welsh spelling of Sean.
That's probably why I've said that then.
On Tuesday night, he was read out as Simon. They just assumed some letters out, but it is just Sean.
I just thought it was a fancy name. So I will apologise, Sean. But yeah, he gets in behind, a bit indecisive, and the defender recovers, but that could have been 1-0.
Good to have him back. He's been out, but yeah, he's a top player, and took his goal well yesterday.
See, one thing was noticeable, Dave, it seemed like City racked up the corners in the first 20 minutes. You seemed like you had quite a few corners. So it says you were on the front foot. Yeah,
we just had all the ball, just passing it around, just trying to find that last cutting pass to create chances. Didn't quite come off in the first half, but when they came back out for the second half, I had 2 great views of our goals because being the TN tend to stay where they are, but being an old-fashioned non-league fan, I changed ends, so I was behind the goal. We scored the 2 goals in the second half, so yeah, I had a great view of them.
But before we go to second half, on the half hour, Marcus Day, who we mentioned, he had a good chance, really well saved by the keeper. Is it with the start you made, Dave? Obviously, half hour in, you was having a few chances. Did you start to wonder if it's going to be one of those days, if anything was going to go in?
No, I really didn't. It was a matter of time. They literally, when they cleared the ball, it was straight back to us. We were just constantly on the ball, passing it around nicely and trying to fashion chances. We were fashioning a few, but I had no doubt that at some point we would score one, and when we scored one, we'd score more.
Yeah. And Simpson, just before halftime, you had another great chance. Pinchard puts the ball in. Simpson gets on the end of it, and the keeper had to tip it onto the bar. And
their keeper had an app. He'd have been man of the match. He was superb yesterday. He made some fantastic saves. Without him, they'd have been on the wrong end of a hiding.
And so it's nearly at half time. And we've spoken about a lot lately, haven't we, about City was coming out and they was conceding early in the second half. But over the last couple of games, it seems like you've now turned it the other way around, because 4 minutes into the second half, Spence rose the highest, and Spence rose the highest from Marcus Day cross and nods it in, and City won.
Yeah, it's not a part of his game that you'd really expect to be one of his strengths, heading the ball. Sean, he's not the biggest, but and he's great with the ball at his feet. But yeah, it was a cracking header. Just absolutely, just sort of turned away and glanced it, and it just went buried in the very top corner. The keeper didn't even move. So yeah, great, nice ball by Marcus Day and a great finish.
And then obviously 5 minutes later, that man Kane Simpson bags his 5th goal for City since joining. After again good work from Pinchard, and Simpson rifles said he like sort of
it was quite frustrating. It was almost makes you think that the most dangerous time when Simpson's got the ball is when he's like falling over, because after the outrageous goal he scored on Tuesday, and then he was a little played through down the sort of right wing, really, just like by the edge of outside the edge of the 6-yard area, a little fed ball through, and as he turned and ran onto it, he lost his footing and he was just stumbling, and it wasn't a foul. We weren't looking for a penalty, but I was expecting him to hit the deck, and then he just unleashed this thunderbolt from a tight angle that just went in off the underside of the crossbar, and the keeper did not have a Scooby. He just didn't even know. He looked stunned. It was a hell of a finish, yeah. And keeps up his record of scoring every game he's started with us. So, 5-4 now.
So now you've talked Robbie Savage into coming to the 8 game on the 5th of December. Are you a bit worried that Robbie might, if he goes and bags like an hat trick, Robbie might be going, well, he could be the man to fire Forest Green into the Football League?
I don't think so. He's been around a lot. He's 29, coming 30, I think. He's a great player. But I don't know. I'd be more worried about. There's other players I'd be more worried about Robbie seeing if they play well.
Well, if Robbie does come to I still call it Meadow Park, not New Meadow.
Well, Meadow KMM or Meadow Park.
Yeah, if he comes to Meadow Park and he does pinch one of your players, you're going to have the Gary Johnson effect and have the 10% of the transfer fee for enticing them. So that's obviously 2-0, and City had a few more chances. That Ang's going close on it.
Hanksy came on, and he should have had. He'll be absolutely good. He didn't get a hat trick. He had 3. He had a 1-on-1. He had 3 goal edge chances that you'd put your life on him scoring 1 or 2 of them, if not all 3. But he didn't have his shooting boots on. But he looked quite frustrated. But he played well when he came on.
Yeah, and I lost where I am. Sorry. City had a few. They had a few more chances, but pretty dominant display from City. Did you expect more from Chertsey?
Yeah, I did actually. To be honest, I mean they're not doing too badly, and they've had some really good results and beaten some decent sides. I saw their manager's interview afterwards. He seemed like a really good fella. He just said we were beaten by a much better side, and he spoke about how, like, in tight situations all our players are comfortable getting the ball in a tight situation and having the bravery to carry on playing, and that's what Daft's brought. We're playing some really nice stuff and creating lots of chances, and long may it continue.
Yeah. Daft's thoughts at the end of the game. Pleased with the result. Challenge was to back up Tuesday's result, which you did, and as Chris just said, 2 clean sheets, which is obviously pleasing.
Yeah, very, very.
He mentions about the clean sheet. Disappointing you didn't score more. So he's repeating that.
But yeah.
But the more you get your players back, Dave, and you've got had a few players who've had niggles and get back to full fitness. And you've brought in Kane Simpson. You started King Beidou on the bench. We were doing about over the last few weeks. That'll come when the goals will start coming.
Yeah, I think so. To coin a phrase, I do genuinely believe sooner or later we are gonna have had one of those days where you score more than your XG, and we're gonna score a hatful.
Yeah, it's going to be a competition between you and Sean to see
who does it first. Exactly. Who's going to rattle in 6 or 7? Yeah.
When me and Chris are just having over 1-0. So he talks about Sean Spence, and funny enough, I've got his name down as Sean Spence here. So after I listened to his interview, I realised it wasn't Sean. I didn't change it. He talks about Sean Spence that's obviously come back from injury, another player to add, and he said he's going to be someone who will add something to the squad.
Yeah, very good player, very tidy. A bit like Pinchard-esque, really. That sort of player, tidy, gets the ball, always on the front foot, eye for a goal. Yeah, very good player, and glad to have him back.
Yeah. And then on to Tuesday, you've got Farnham. It's a big game on Tuesday, isn't it? If you can back that one up with another 3 points, and then Walton will start looking at Gloucester and thinking they ain't going away.
It's a big week for Gloucester, actually. They've got the team above them as well on the Saturday, so it's a big.
That's been postponed.
Team above
postponed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
FA. We're in the FA Trophy at Worthing, so that game is. I don't think it's been announced when it's on yet, but yeah, away at Waltham Hersham is to be rearranged, and that is going to be a huge game because. Do you know what? I'd be happy with the draw there because we're sort of closing it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing when we go away to Walton is to not let them open that gap up. I'd love to win and go top, but if we can just keep the gap the same against them, and especially after they've just not looked like having a wobble at all. They've just been machines winning comfortably every single week. So to see them draw 0-0 against I've got a good friend.
I was talking about Wimborne.
Wimborne. Yeah, we got Wimborne.
They're just above Farnham.
Oh, just sorry. When you said just above, I thought you meant just above.
Yeah, sorry, I'm being Sean, Chris. Sorry.
Wimborne away next Saturday. If anybody wants to sit on the coach, still spaces left. But it could be another tough game. But the way we're playing at the moment, I'm sort of going to every game feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, definitely. It must be disappointing though. Like with that game, I know you're in the FA Trophy and it's good money for Gloucester, but you would have wanted that game to be on a Saturday, take a good following day now, wouldn't
you? Yeah. But last game of the season, we got them at home. We just need to be in a position where that's the. I mean, in an ideal world, it's a dead rubber and we've won the league. But if not, the most important thing is going into it knowing that game decides who finishes top.
What date's that on, Dave? What date's the last game of the season for Gloucester?
I've got absolutely no idea.
It'd be good if Cheltenham and Forest Green weren't playing. We could have a Talk of the County exclusive live from Meadow Park.
Yeah.
25th of April.
Yeah,
25th. So that's when the season's still.
I've got 25th of April against Walton and Hersham at New Meadow Park.
Yeah,
and that's your last game of the season, is it?
It is. Yeah, last game, very last game.
Yeah, and I think 25th of April.
Hopefully it is the last game of the season and we don't have to go through the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely won't be to that one because Cheltenham are away at Bristol Rovers, our last away game of the season. Which is a shame. It would have been nice. Maybe it might get postponed and it might be a Tuesday night. Anyway, obviously Das talks about that, and he says about he mentioned about the Walton game, but he was kind of a bit like still got to play everybody basically, Dave, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly that.
And they drew 0-0, and I know we slightly touched on it, but 2 points now. We talk about that mentality in a title race, 7 points clear. I know they got a game in hand, but now they'll be looking and going, "Wow, now if we do slip up, Gloucester
they got a pretty winnable game. I think they're at home to Uxbridge on Tuesday, whilst we're home to Farnham, so it's not beyond the realms that they could increase that gap a little bit, but hopefully not. If they slip up again and we beat Farnham, you never know, we could go top on Tuesday.
Yeah. Sean, any thoughts on Gloucester's results this week?
It's gone back to bed.
No, sorry, I was just writing next week.
He was just fudging the scores on the doors. Don't worry, boys.
No, I was literally writing down the
You're on mute then, though.
For next week.
And all it was, any thoughts on Gloucester City's results this week?
In the week?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a good week. 2 good wins. And it's all going well for them at the moment, isn't it? It's, like I said, results are going their way. Big games next week, actually, for Gloucester and Forest Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Chris?
Yeah, look, I've already said it. 2 clean sheets. You're more likely to pick up 3 points when you keep clean sheets.
They're overrated.
Look, it's been a good week for Gloucester, and they've got a tough week this week. and I think it'll show. I mean, you mentioned Uxbridge. They're actually only one place below Farnham, Uxbridge.
Yeah, well,
So it's still
they
a
beat
tough
us, didn't
game
they?
to watch.
So
So yeah, end of this week we could see some change.
could do.
Can I just say as well, when we do keep a clean sheet, I'm going to drive to Cambridge and I'm going to spray paint it on your house.
Rattled again. Sean's rattled again.
Your house is probably pretty safe for a while, Chris.
Got him again, lads.
Brilliant. Right. So let's move on to the final one. Let's move on to Cheltenham. So Chris, Cheltenham take 1, Bristol Rovers now.
Yeah, look, clean sheet. You get 3 points when you get clean sheets, don't you? The game itself was pretty rubbish. I've got to be honest. There was not a lot happened. It was all in the middle of the park. They had probably 2 chances that they'll be disappointed with, and we scored the only real chance we had. That's how the game was. It was very middle of the pitch heavy. No team dominated, and we took our chance. They had 2 half chances they didn't take.
Yeah, so obviously Rovers started the better side. The 2 sides, they had a few corners without really troubling anything, but nothing really happened in the first half. I think you're right, Chris. I think the game was very. It was bitty.
It was middle of the park. The referee wanted to be center of attention.
Yeah,
that's how the game was. Referee was awful. I had a conversation with someone on social media about the standard of refereeing that we've had this season, and there's only one referee that I think had a really, really good game. The rest have just been dross, to be quite. It was the word I used. And the referee that had the good game was Abigail Byrne. I thought she was fantastic, and she deserves to be higher up the league because the standard of officiating in this country is shocking at best.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the best. One chance we did have in the first half, and again, I don't want to start you off, Chris. The ball was slid in lovely by Ryan Broom to Ethan Archer. If Archer controls that ball, he's got a free shot on goal. But again, he's tough.
Going to start calling him beach ball Archer.
Yeah,
rhyme, but
it wouldn't.
I don't know what's happened to Ethan Archer's touch. It was all right, but it seems to have completely turned to a word Sean would use.
Makes you wonder how he's going to fare when he steps up to Luton, doesn't it?
He's not going to step up to Luton. He won't get in the team. He won't even come close to it. He'll be in their reserves, or
getting back on loan.
Back on loan, yeah. I don't know what's wrong with him because he last season. I think he might have been found out. Essentially, people know what he's going to do. He's going to cut inside and try and shoot, or try and take you on 4 times. And I think he's been found out. Unfortunately, and he's so easy to get off the ball. It's unfortunate, but it happens. But this is when your good players step up and are seen. Unfortunately, Ethan Archer is not doing that at the moment. Although what I will say is, I thought he was better yesterday than he was last week.
He was. We'll get on to the second half now, but before we do that, I'll just quickly play Pete's message. Pete wasn't actually at the game yesterday.
No, he was sunning himself up, wasn't he?
He's out in Australia for the cricket, and he said that's obviously
the cricket wasn't even on.
No,
he already lost.
So he said he managed to go and to watch it on iFollow out in Australia, and this is what Pete had to say about the game, Chris. It's an
experience for me this week. I've been in Australia for the cricket, less said about that the better, although Perth is a brilliant city. So I ended up watching it on iFollow. I thought it was a poor game, not much to choose between the 2 sides, very few clear-cut chances, scrappy all over. The goal was really a defensive mistake one of the Bristol Ravens players completely missed Tompkinson, but he finished well. It was probably the best chance of the game, and Cheltenham just about deserved to win. Back to the defensive solidarity, which they've been so good at under Steve Cottrell. I can't remember Joe Dave having many saves to make. It wasn't pretty, but those 3 points are important. Momentum back, well done to the team, and now I do think we can start to look upwards.
Yeah, agree. So sorry that I had you on ×5, Pete. But no,
I think you still had him on ×2.
It was 1.5, but I wasn't starting again. So on to the second half. They have a free kick. It comes in. Ellison Harrison side foots it, and it's the outside of the post. You know, they mentioned in their thing that we hit the post, but it was one of those ones. It was never going in. Joe,
it was never going in, mate. Never going in. So yeah, that I didn't even class as a chance.
Yeah, the one chance that was a chance for him is they hit the post again. This is where I agree with you as a referee. So you had an absolute stinker, and I must say that the most biased ref I've seen in a long time. Whether it was because he found himself towards the away end so much and had the away fans bearing on top of him, I don't know. But Stevenson has a challenge from behind. The lad wins the ball, but it's a clear challenge from behind. It's a dangerous challenge. He lets it go on. The ball drops to Cottrell for them. Luckily, it takes a deflection. It's a post and goes out for a corner.
It's a great block, by the way, by Sam Shearing. It's a great block. Deflects off him, and Joe Day was stranded. He was never getting there, and it clips the outside of the post and goes wide for a corner. But the block was fantastic for me. You can't say a lot more about it. I don't think it was a clear-cut chance by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a very, very good block. And you can tell that it was a very good block because Shearing, punches the air after it, celebrating the block because it was a really, really good, important block because it was a goal otherwise.
Yeah. And not too long after, again, referee with the centre. Archer, funny enough, Chris, takes his man on, probably because Dan Hopkins up in the main stand was shouting.
Probably for the fourth time.
I was shouting up in the stand, get at him, and he took their fullback on. Their player comes across and covers, but makes a mess of it. Archer knocks it through his legs, gets in the area, and then literally gets dragged down. Referee, nothing. The whole of Wallen Road was literally roaring.
I think that was a stonewall penalty, but the way Archer goes down makes it look very theatrical, and that goes against him. And the referee decides that it wasn't a penalty. It was a penalty, I thought. But I think the way Archer went down, obviously I'm going to find a negative about Archer, but no, he did. In fairness to him, he did well taking his player on, beating his man. And then he tried cutting inside the other one, and for me, he was taken down. But the way he went down, unfortunately, gave the ref the opportunity to not give it.
Yeah, and then Cheltenham take the lead on the 70th minute. A corner comes in. I listened to Darryl Clark after, and said, and he was all, we lost our man. To be fair, it was really good movement by Tompkinson. He loses his man. So it's probably a bit true what Clark's saying, but I think a bit more credit to Tompkinson. And he finishes off with his left foot.
What a finish, by the way. I know it's only a tap in, right? Really and truly, it's only a tap in. But the technique you need to have to make that and not blast it over the bar, to keep the ball down, and I think it just clipped the inside of the post on its way in. It was the technique you need to do that is phenomenal. So for me, that's a really, really good finish. A lot of people will just say, "Oh, it's a tap-in." Yes, it is, but the technique you have to have to make that is incredible. So props to him there.
It was still wide of the goal, Chris, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's outside the far post.
Yeah.
A bounce, a really powerful cross. It wasn't a soft looping corner. It was a flat, powerful cross that bounces right in front of him. So to keep that down, like I say, is really great technique.
Yeah, he's
with his wrong foot as well.
Yeah, he left. Yeah, Cots makes a joke of that after. But he's been brilliant, hasn't he, since coming in?
Yeah, look, he's been solid. He was beaten too easily once last week. That led to a really good chance for them. But aside from that, his recovery is fantastic. His pace is so vital to his game, and his athleticism is right up there with the best in League Two for me. He's proven himself a really big asset.
Yeah. Which Cheltenham had one more chance after Rovers had a bit of a go, but they didn't create anything today. The game kind of fizzled out. You know, I thought they was quite poor in the final third. But Cheltenham had one more chance. The ball come from Broome into Bickerstaff, and Bickerstaff sort of like gets a bit on it, but a safe wood powers away, and that was it. But hey,
yeah, that would. I can't add anything to what you've said there. To be fair, it's exactly how you said it. It wasn't a clear chance. It was just one of them. It was a chance. Bickerstaff, I feel really sorry for Bickerstaff because he deserves a goal.
Yeah.
The work rate he's put in. What I will say is when Adelaide comes on, we looked a bit of a different team. We had a bit more about us. For 10 minutes, and then the goal came. The goal came not long after he came on, and for a few minutes after that, we still looked a different team, and then it went back into the bitty game again. But yeah, no, I feel for Bickerstaff. He deserves a goal just for the work that he puts in. What I will say, another takeaway from the game is Tommy Taylor isn't ready.
Yeah.
And Ben Stevenson was absolutely sublime. He was my man of the match. I know you had Kinsella, but I think there were two players on the pitch better than Kinsella yesterday, and that is Stevenson and Ryan Broome. They were both fantastic. That's Ryan's Broome best game for a long time.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. And the only reason I went with Liam Kinsella because I literally watched him closely, and obviously I'll see a lot more than what people will see because I just made a point of watching him yesterday because it's baffled me why he's not been a part of Cott's plans. I know he's been on the bench, but he just does the ugly side. I get what people say. Attacking wise, creating chances is non-existent.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kinsella, we've got Ben Stevenson doing what you'd expect Kinsella to do.
Yeah,
and Ben Stevenson is far better in the air, and he's far better with the ball at his feet than Kinsella.
Right.
And I'm taking nothing away from Kinsella. I love the bloke. His work rate is phenomenal. But I think Ben Stevenson is ahead of him on merit.
Oh, 100%. I don't disagree with that. I just thought yesterday he broke the play up, and you say about it in the air. For a small guy, he wins a lot.
For a small guy, he's good in the air, but he's not as good in the air as Ben Stevenson.
No. But it's good because it gives us a bit of a bit of cover when we need it. On to Cott's thoughts. He said, brilliant win after 2 defeats. He said, went back to square one. He said to the guys, I think he said to the players was like, we need to be solid and build from that rather than being too open. And he said, so the pressure was on the players. Rovers had a very good squad, probably stronger than Cheltenham's.
On paper, they've got a much better squad than us. Macaulay Southern Hales, I think, is far too good for this league.
Yeah.
And that was shown with the cross he put in for Cavane when he headed it over the bar. That was their only good chance, I think. I really rate him as a fullback. They've got some very good players. And I'm going to move on to Darryl Clark's comments after the game because he was scathing about his team. He said they're soft.
Let's finish Cots first, and then we go on. Because I agree with you, Chris. I think it was quite bitter. Yes, so he says Rovers have a very good squad. No sloppy moments given away. That's what's killed us over the last 2 games. So it's good to cut that out, and we've gone back to having a clean sheet.
Definitely. Clean sheets, you get more points.
He agreed with you. Ben Stevenson was magnificent. He said, never player has been different made a difference since he's come in, and I agree. He's been. I know Sean. Sean says about doesn't like to give anything positive towards Cheltenham, but even Sean was like, that's a really good sign. I wouldn't mind sitting back at Forest Green, and it just blows your mind how he didn't have a club.
I know it's incredible, but look, a lot of the work he does goes unnoticed a lot of the time, and I can see why. He would be kind of unnoticed, but he's certainly being noticed by me and other Cheltenham fans at the moment.
To be fair, in our League Two winning season, it was the same thing. I think he rarely got man of the match, but I used to highlight it quite a bit. Like, he was one of our best players. He used to do everything, but he never got noticed. Problem is, when you don't score and probably get as many assists as people like, it goes unnoticed in midfield.
Yeah. But that's not his job, is it? His job isn't get assists, is it? It's break the play up and play it to the players that are going to get the assists.
Yeah, and I just think that's why them players, it just gets missed, and they don't get forgotten about, but they don't get talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. And then obviously we've spoken about Liam Kinsella, and Cots says that with Tom Kinsella, fans are taking to him, and he's really taken to them. He's got his own USA chant, and I think he loves that. And another positive yesterday, 5,500 on the gate. I know there was 1,500 from Rovers, and actually for the first time in I can't remember how long, and I think this is because obviously, and we'll get on to the fans forum now. I think this is because of the demand for seats for Cheltenham fans now. I didn't have any Bristol Rovers fans around me because usually you get the odd one.
Let's not forget, Dan. Let's not forget this. I think the population of Wadden is only 15,000, I think, tops. So to pull in 5,500 fans, I think that's incredible.
That's 75% of the stadium filled. Anyway, right, let's quickly go on Friday night.
Rovers fans, mind.
Say that again.
There was 2,500 Rovers fans, mind.
1,500.
They were just quiet. They didn't have nothing to shout about.
1,500, mate. 4,000 home fans. That's probably double and a half as far as average.
They would have brought in the home end.
Not a chance. As I just said, usually you can hear them around you because they're all shaking and they want to jump up, but absolutely nothing. Even people who say over the other side, nothing at all. But I'll get on to it now, and this is the reason I think it didn't happen. Let's go on. So on Friday night we went on to we had a fans forum. Unfortunately, Steve Cottrell and Mike Garlick wasn't there. Steve Cottrell won't turn up to a fans forum a day before a game, but they could only get it in on the Friday. The things to take from it, Chris, is Mike Garlick's keen to send players out on loan to Gibraltar and Spain to give them game time out there. Now, if I'm a Cheltenham Town player and I'm saying you're going to Gibraltar or Spain to go out on loan, I'll say, where can I sign? When can I go?
Yeah, why not?
Especially if it's a season-long loan and you're getting the nice weather.
And especially if they're going to play European football.
But yeah, because the side Vancouver or something in Gibraltar, they play in the Europa Conference League. But that's good. It's good. He's going to link the three clubs together, and there could be benefits from it.
Yeah, that ties in with the kit deal as well. Because I think the kit deal, if we get a new one, it will tie in with the other two clubs as well. Yeah,
so the club are looking for a potentially changing from Maria for the first time in 27 years. The only problem is going to sponsors like Adidas, Nike, and sponsors like that. They potentially want a kit every year. So if Cheltenham gets 2 new kits, that means 2 kits every year. So I think
I'm not keen on that idea personally.
No, I think it'd be nice to change, but I think the problem you're going to have is families can't afford to pay £70 a shirt for if you got like 4 kids or say 2 kids. No, you don't. But you know what it's like, Dave. Kids want the kits and they want to be up with a trend. Oh, I've got my football kit. It would become expensive. So I think the idea, Chris, of using his side in Gibraltar and his side in Spain and going, maybe let's say he goes to Adidas and says, look, we don't want an every year change, but if
But you can have three
these three clubs take your sponsor, can we go to or every year, and that might work. You mentioned as a possible pre-season of the tour to Spain. That'd be good.
Why not?
I don't like
Makes sense, doesn't it?
I don't like flying, so I hope they let me know well in advance, because I'll be getting the Eurostar down to. Well, we've already planned out, me and my missus, get the Eurostar down to France down to Spain, stay in Spain for a couple of days in Madrid, do the tour of the Bernabeu, and then go down onto the south coast of Spain and have the pre-season tour down there. So we're already planning it. But knowing in Cheltenham, they'll probably release it at the end of May, saying that they're going at the end of June. We'll have no time to plan. Say again?
To Bognor.
To Bognor.
To Bognor, yeah. I was going to say it'll be in Scotland or something.
Yeah. First part of the infrastructure will be the training ground, revamp of the canteen, sprinkler systems installed, and a 3G pitch. It will save the club in the long run, because as we know, in the winter, Cheltenham do tend to go and train in Winchcombe on the 3G pitches up there. So they have said that, they will save money that way.
Fix the flooding essentially on the training pitch, because that's the reason it gets flooded.
It gets quite boggy. I think out of the 8 pitches we got down there, I think only one is
only one's usable. In the winter.
So they're sorting all that out. Clive said around about £2 to £3 million will be spent in the short term, but fans won't see it as it would all be done at the training ground. But that's right, isn't it? I know we
Yeah, I fully agree with it, and it's exactly what I expected. To be honest, you've got to get your behind the scenes right before you can even consider anything else. And a really good point was made was, if we want good players to join this club, we need good facilities where they're going to spend 80% of their working time.
Yeah.
And down at Seasons is where they're going to spend 80% of their working life. They're only going to spend a little bit of time at Wadden Road. So it's right to get the training ground up to scratch where it needs to be in order to get those good players. And then maybe in 4 or 5 years' time, we might look at getting a new stand. Yeah,
definitely. So that's what he means by that. Then he says we do need more seats at the stadium, and this is what I say about the Bristol Rovers game yesterday. If you take we got 3,900 seats at Wadden Road, 1,100 of them are for away fans. I know we give Bristol Rovers the corner yesterday, and I think again this is to stop away fans trying to buy tickets in the home end. But it's well known now that the demand for seats at Wadden Road is actually quite high. Not everybody can stand. So that comes to the new stand, doesn't it, Chris? And like you said,
yeah, exactly that. I mean, we've got the main stand. There is space. I mean, there's the paddock area, and the other area next to the paddock, the extra seating would go. I think, and if that stand is stretched across the whole length of the pitch, that brings in a significant amount of seats. So you might even get 2 tiers. And I'm being really optimistic here, because I don't think we will get 2-tier stand. But there is the option there. There is the space there, apart from in the Prestbury Road end corner. That's where the space is limited. But unfortunately for a lot of fans, I'm quite sure that we're a minimum of 5 years away from even considering a new stand.
Yeah, no, exactly. They also mentioned that he said they need there's more need for bars and corporate boxes at the ground, which is pleasing, because it shows that the hospitality is being sold out week on week.
Yeah, I mean, the Nest could do with a lick of paint, but this could have done with a lick of paint about 10 years ago, I think, maybe even longer than that. So yeah, bring in. I think it's more bringing the existing facilities up to date rather than creating brand new facilities. There will be, they have said about hospitality boxes. We have got some, but I think there will be more created, but I'm not sure about where.
Well, I've got an inkling, and again, this is no inside knowledge or anything, but there was a comment that was made to me about 18 months ago, and if not, maybe 12. I got a feeling the club got their eye on the community centre behind the Prestonbury Road end. I think they're very close to going under. And I got a feeling the club might.
Are you talking about the
Parklands area? Yeah. And I got a feeling the club might look to buy that, and that could potentially be off-site hospitality. But that's just an inch, just by a comment what was made to me a while back. So yeah, they also said Mike Garlick's been very hands-on, but still getting up to speed with the club. But he's had a positive impact already, hasn't he? He's shown.
Yeah. Look, he's been hands-on with the incoming players, but not so hands-on with the work that needs doing, i.e., the facilities, if you will. Which I can get on board with. He has been very hands-on in the transfer market, and that's shown with the quality of player that we brought in. The 3 players that he's brought in have made a massive difference already, and the other one that hasn't really played yet looks like he is going to be a big player until January.
Yeah, and last,
if he gets fit.
Yeah, he's getting better each game he comes on. Fitter. And lastly, they said the squad's too big. There's already interest in out of favour players, and a few will come in early, and getting the job done early is key.
Yeah, no, fully agree. That's what I want to hear. The squad is too big. We've got too many players not playing, or not affecting anything on the pitch, or probably off it at the moment because they probably won't really be in the building that much. But yeah, it's that's refreshing, and something certainly I'm in full agreement with.
Brilliant. Well, that wraps up Cheltenham Town. Let's go on to scores on the doors. Sponsored.
See how much he's fudged it this week.
Sponsored by M&M Discos. For any weddings, parties, get in contact with the pod, and we can put you in contact. Over to you, Sean. I think there's a change at the top of the league.
Yeah. So I think I got it right this week. I sent you boys a picture last night just so if there was any discrepancies, we could sort it out. So I think, Dan, you picked up 5 points. You got the correct Cheltenham Bristol Rovers score. You said 1-0. You didn't get anything for Forest Green Wildstone because you went for a 2-1 Wildstone win. And then a point each for the Gloucester games. So, yeah, you've gone on to 28. I'm now on 27. Chris and Dave, you've actually picked the same results. So I think you both got +4. So you're both on 21. But you are slowly catching me now.
I want to go last, so I can see people can't have the same result as me.
I did think this actually. Every single prediction, Dan is last to predict. Every single one.
Yeah, it's a definite advantage.
We're letting go first this week.
Hey guys, I can go first if you want it. I've got my scores.
He's rattled, boys. He's rattled.
I've got my scores written down already. I don't need to go by what you guys go.
Let's hear them then. Let's hear them.
Well, we'll get on to that now. So, have you finished, Sean?
Yeah. So yeah, you're top with 28. I'm
Can
second.
you say that again, just in case the listeners didn't hear that, Sean?
And they both got 21. I didn't know if I went through the table. I just sort of said a couple of the results and then how many points we all had.
Yeah.
So Dan Hopkins has now gone top, 28 points. I heard that bit.
Yeah. He's fluked it this week.
The predictions then.
Because I go with my head, lads, not my heart.
Yeah, I'm going to do that this week.
Right, so let's get on to the prediction league.
An idea.
That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? So we start off with next week. Cheltenham are away at Colchester. Head to head, 19 games. Cheltenham won 7, Colchester 9. There's been 3 draws. Last time out was a 1-0 defeat at Modern Road. I remember quite well because I kind of threatened Lenny Taylor. and we had a 2-1 win away, and that was actually the turn of the form for Michael Flynn last season when we went on that amazing run, like 21 games unbeaten. Like a couple of defeats in 21 games. I'll start off with it. I'm going to go with Cheltenham Town 1, Colchester United 1. Chris, what's your thoughts?
I was going to go 1-1 as well.
Don't get copying me.
I actually was going 1-1. I'll tell you what, I'll go for a 2-1 Cheltenham then.
2-1 Cheltenham. Sean?
I don't know. You lot are fluking a couple.
Keep a lot of clean sheets, don't we, Sean?
Colchester, they're a funny side.
Yeah, they're mid-table, aren't they?
Yeah, they had a great win yesterday.
Who did they play yesterday?
They won 3-0 at
Notts County.
Notts County, that was it.
3-1.
3-1. Oh, did they score late, did they? Yeah, well, it was 3-1, Dave.
I might go 2-1 Colchester.
Colchester.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave?
I'll go 3-1 Colchester.
Hate you, Dave. And then, so on the Forest Green, they've got a tough one against Southend. The last time these two played, a lot of smiles on Gloucester City and Forest Cheltenham Town fans' faces because they knocked them at the playoffs. Head to head, it's only been 5 meetings. Forest Green 1 win, Southend 1 win, and there's been 3 draws. Last time out, 2-2 in the playoffs. In the league, away 2-2, and at home in the league 2-2. So guess what, guys? I'm going to go with a 1-1. Chris?
Southend have got a really, really good defensive record, so I think that Forest Green will struggle to break them down.
The really bad feedback is somewhere.
It's Sean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with because Forest Green concede so many, I'm going to go with Southend 2, Forest Green 1.
Dave?
I'll go with a 2-2 draw.
Sean?
Yeah, I think defensively we look quite strong. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win.
We're missing. Forest Green have got Nottingham Forest as well.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to bother.
Yeah,
I haven't bothered doing any of the National League Cup games.
No.
If there are, like,
that's a poor man's virtue trophy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 2-0 win Forest Green, Sean, have you?
3-0.
3-0. I tell you, mate, this is why you're slipping down the table, because you go with your heart, not your head.
Mate, we are literally 90 minutes away from smashing someone like 6-0.
You said that 90 days ago.
Mate, next week's the week, I'm telling you.
I reckon if Sean doesn't win 5-0 next week, he gets 2 points to vote to. Okay, right, on to Gloucester City. Tuesday, they got Farnham, which is obviously a tough game. They've massively played each other once. Gloucester no wins, Farnham no wins, 1 draw. Last time out, 3-3 in September. Do you want me to go first, Dave?
I know what I'm going. I'm going with the head against heart. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I'm going to go 2-1 win Gloucester. Chris?
Gloucester are really good at home. Farnham aren't in great form. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Gloucester.
Sean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I might go 3-2 Gloucester. I'm not very good at keeping clean sheets.
And then on next Saturday, Gloucester travel to Wimborne Town. Massively played each other 3 times. Gloucester 1 win. Wimborne no wins. There's been 2 draws. Last time out was a 1-1 away and a 2-2 at home. Dave?
I'll go 2-0. 2-0 win City.
Chris?
2-1 defeat.
Sean?
I'm gonna go 2-1 win.
2-1 win for Gloucester. Okay, I'm gonna go 1-1. Brilliant. So I think that's a good place to leave it. Dave, as always, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
Chris, as always, thanks for joining us.
Cheers, mate.
Sean, thanks for joining us at some point.
Yeah. I do apologise. I was thinking.
Thanks for the feedback every time you haven't got your microphone turned off.
Yeah, sorry, boys. I thought it was 10:30. I was at my boys' football game. I got home plenty of time. Got onto the laptop, and then the laptop was playing up, so I've had to go onto my phone. So it's not been great. But
Yeah, I told you he'd have laptop issues, didn't I?
It's a good job.
Yeah.
Good job we drafted Robbie in, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, cheers for that.
Brilliant. So give us a follow on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. On a weekend, the Robins were singing the blues. City closed the gap up to 2 points, and Rovers couldn't raid the stone for 3. See you next time.